My favorite part of the show and Walking Mountain Science Center is here, bringing everything in. Peter Suneson joining me now. You have brought so many awesome things for us to talk about today.
Always seasonal, always kind of what's going on out in the woods. And I thought today we would follow up with our article in the local newspaper, kind of talking about how to be bear aware, what are the bear doing these days, because, you know, the season is upon us and they're out moving around just like we are in the woods. So.
The bear necessities.
The bear necessities is what we're going to be talking about today, exactly.
Awesome. Well, where do you want to start? You want to start with the skull, the scat, or the tail?
You know, I think it'd be great to kind of give people a heads up what to do out on the trail, you know, first and foremost, if they encounter a bear, you know, what are we going to do to protect ourselves and also the bear and their families? So one of the things that we try to remind people is that we want to make all wildlife aware of our presence when we're out on the trail, whether that is making noise, you know, acting as human as possible. So we saw a bear out in the distance doing its own thing, we're doing our thing. We'll take pictures, we'll enjoy ourselves, watch the bear, watch it going about its way, we'll go on our way. If we're coming down the trail and there's a bear walking towards us, where we're going to come into contact, that's when we're going to get in a big group. If we're with a group of hikers or friends, we're going to pull our shirts over our head, we're going to wave our hiking poles, we're going to get wild, weird, and crazy to be more scary than that bear is to us. We want to say, hey, we're here, we're human, we're not something to mess with. Go enjoy the rest of the woods.
Because they know what we are. They know we're human. They know to stay away from us.
Exactly. They're not going to come after us unless, you know, potentially we have food out. That's another good thing to remind campers. We are in bear country. Always store your food in hard-sided containers, bear bags. If you're car camping, you know, throw your cooler in the trunk. Anything like that, because bears do have a very great sense of smell. They're going to be looking, they're going to interact with us primarily because they're looking for food.
And now I just went camping this past weekend. I saw a group, they were not from this area, but they had their trash hanging on a tree, thinking that maybe, like, if, you know, in the Midwest, that's something you could do. But out here, we were just talking about how black bear are climbers, so it really doesn't do anything to help.
Exactly. You know, bear bags are designed to be hung in between two trees, you know, hanging in the middle, so bears can't climb up a tree and get at them. The black bears that we have in Colorado are tree climbing bears. They've got much shorter claws. I brought a grizzly bear claw with me so you can kind of see how big that is. Grizzly bears are diggers. Historically, they were found as far east as the Mississippi River. So they've got those big, long claws for digging in the dirt. That extra lump on their shoulder is a digging muscle, typically a plain species, for digging in that dirt. The black bears we have here in Colorado are tree climbers. Their claws are much, much shorter, and they're much better at climbing the trees, primarily for self-defense, but if there is food or trash hanging in the tree, you better believe
that they're going to get it.
They're climbing up there to get it.
And this one is a grizzly, just to... so you're not freaking out. This is not what you're going to have to encounter while you're out here.
Exactly, and it's another good thing to know. You know, we no longer have grizzly bear in Colorado. They've all been pushed farther to the northwest, Idaho, Wyoming, Montana, Canada. So we don't really have any worry about running into grizzly bear in Colorado.
Yeah, which is still, I mean, even black bear are still, they have, I just want to kind of show maybe these little claws here. They still have claws as well that are dangerous, but
exactly.
a little more, you can avoid a black bear a little better than a grizzly.
Exactly, and it's interesting to point out, black bears are not really hunters. You know, black bears primarily are going to eat vegetables, plants, roots, stuff like that. They do eat some meat, a lot of insects, but primarily the meat they eat is going to be carrion or dead meat. So by looking at this skull, you know, you can see these molars in here, and this is what they're going to use for their vegetables. This is for grinding up twigs, plant sticks. They do have some sharp teeth used for ripping and cutting meat, but black bear aren't going to go out and hunt elk, deer. You know, they don't look at us as a primary food source. They're looking for dead meat and kind of smaller animals. They might catch a bunny or a marmot here and there, but black bear are primarily not looking at us like food, like a grizzly or, you know, a larger type of bear may be. So
exactly.
They're looking for the good roots, the good tubers, you know, maybe a log filled with moth larvae, something like that.
Now, if we're out on our hike and we see some scat while we are going, so, like, I mean, how can you tell the difference between maybe a big dog or a bear?
That's a great question. So, you know, if you see something like this out on the trail and it's steaming, that is your instant cue to turn around and get off that trail, because that means it's fresh. There are bear in the area. It's going to be big. You know, a bear is going to be a 600-plus pound animal potentially. It's going to be a very, very large scat. In the fall, the scat's going to look like a blender full of blueberries that was poured out on the ground.
Right.
This time of year, it's going to look grassy. You know, some roots, seeds, stuff like that in there. You're going to, you know, look for a big kind of mess of scat. Generally, that's going to be a bear. It would have to be a really big dog.
I know, like a Great Dane or something.
Exactly.
I've seen
for you to get it
some big ones.
for use with a bear. But it's all over the trail. You know, we ran into some up on the big park meadows just this past week. So the bears are out there. They're active. They're looking for food. Stay aware.
Yeah, we actually had our producer had taken a little video on his phone of a mother and her 3 cubs on Beaver Creek. So something to definitely be aware of while you're out there hiking around.
Exactly, and that's one of those situations, you know, we really want to make mother bears with cubs aware of our presence. That's going to give them a chance to get off into the woods away from our presence. We're not going to startle anybody. We're going to try to really minimize those negative human-wildlife interactions.
Well, thank you so much, Peter. Appreciate you coming on the show, as always. And you can always stop into their location, WalkingMountainScienceCenter.org, for more information. And then their location is in Avon, just up Buck Creek. And there's a great hike over there, too. They can take you out hiking as well. Coming up next, we're going to let you know what that weather's looking like and how long the sunshine's going to last.